I think Ramon won't be able to beat me ever again anymore.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So, shots fired by Wesley Shaun towards the best from Brazil in classic physique. And that is of course Ramon Dino, while talking to another classic physique pro, David Hoffman, a guy who was actively competing up until a couple of years back. And we have to keep in mind, this is in fact a recent interview, where Wesley's statements were based on the physique updates that were posted from Ramon Dino in these last couple of weeks, leading into this year's Miss Olympia. And it is really interesting that Wesley claimed that Urs Krashinsky might be more dangerous than Ramon because of his unpredictability and the fact that we haven't seen a single physique update from Urs throughout this year's Olympia prep.
Like, Urs is difficult to predict because he was off at the first Arnold and then he was bang on at the second Arnold, but then the placings were kind of weird in correlation to how he looked. So then you're like, okay, where does he really place then, you know? But I think if he improves upon the RL Classic UK shape, he's even going to be a challenge for Ramon.
Now, I am absolutely loving this confidence from Wesley Shaun, and he is publicly expressing it on every single platform. And I'm gonna say he has earned the right to be this confident. And can you guys believe that Wesley is getting all those high carb days, and that too multiple times, just 9 days out of this year's Miss Olympia? Because his metabolism is just on fire, while all the other top guys, they are suffering so damn hard to make that weight cutoff. It's just insane the amount of detail that Wesley has on his physique. With still more than 9 days to go, I would say he has the most shredded and detailed looking shoulders, front to back in classic physique division at the moment.
But if I'm honest, I think Ramon won't be able to beat me ever again anymore. So I actually today I saw an update of him doing a back double bicep. I'm seeing that footage and I'm like, if this is Ramon right now, I for sure will beat him.
So talking about this rivalry between Wesley and Ramon, I came across this training update from Ramon while doing adductors on the machine. Just take a look at the texture of his skin, especially on his legs, and then take a look at his face. The dead face is getting even deeper, and we have never seen this kind of skull face on Ramon before. So 2024 is gonna be the decisive year for classic physique division, because up until last year, all of us thought that Ramon Dino is eventually gonna win the Olympia title, after CBum retires of course, because he was the closest to CBum, and he was actually able to push Chris Bumstead really hard at the Olympia last year. But Wesley Shaun totally changed the dynamics of classic physique division. He just totally changed the landscapes in just a matter of a few months. So Wesley versus Ramon, that I have to say is a great rivalry in the making. And this is gonna be one hell of an Olympia. So more shots fired by none other than the former 2x212 Mr. Olympia champion Shaun Keone. I bet this is a response towards that Keone Pearson interview that was there just 2 days ago, and that was on the Menace podcast, where Keone Pearson and all the other 3 guys, Dennis James, Chris Cormier and Milos, they had Keone Pearson winning the Olympia this year, and that too hands down. And that was based on all the progress updates that we have seen from Keone throughout this year's Olympia prep, where he has been looking absolutely nuts. So nobody can come close to Shaun Keone's level of hotness and grenade looking physique, and the kind of density and muscle maturity that he has. And even Keone Pearson himself admits that. And just for the record, this video of Shaun flexing, that isn't a recent one. This was actually taken at that Battle of the Olympia video, and that was filmed at about 10 weeks out of this year's big show. So if Shaun was looking that ripped and that hot at 10 weeks out of this year's Miss Olympia, how would he be looking right now with 9 days to go? You can just imagine that. So one thing is really guaranteed. Shaun is gonna try to come in lighter, maybe with that same kind of package that he brought to the Allegiant Sports 2021, where he was lighter than what he weighed on the Olympia stage. And he still smoked all those big boys, like Regan Grimes and Sergio Oliva Jr. And also he needs to have a very ripped midsection, and a very detailed one, especially in order to stand a chance against a guy like Keone Pearson, who is an absolute monster when it comes to aesthetics. Because coming in heavier, with a bloated midsection, that was the biggest mistake Shaun made last year. So what do you guys think? Is Shaun gonna give Keone Pearson a serious run for his money at this year's Miss Olympia? Next up, we have a 9 days out physique update from the Beast, Akeem Williams. So is there any other guy in the men's open bodybuilding who has better lines on the side of their legs than Akeem Williams. Not even the guys in the first call out. They have such kind of detail that Akeem Williams has. That is just absolutely nuts. So him and Krizo, they are definitely coming in at their all-time best. Because just look at those glutes of Akeem at 9 days out. He is already ripped. And the thing is, that is all he can do. Show up in the best conditioning of his life. And even with a weak back double biceps, Akeem for sure is gonna make top 10. Simply because he is just far too big than some of the guys who are gonna be in that second call out. I mean his front double biceps, that is just way too good. He opens up way too wide. He has those thick wide lats, very small waistline, insane separation in his quads. Not to mention that crazy V-taper. Now if you are curious on what are those tapes on Akeem's shoulders that are visible on majority of his physique updates, those are designed to take the stress off the shoulders. Since Akeem had a shoulder surgery last year, and one of the biggest reasons his physique was declining up until last year was that he could not train properly because of a lingering injury. So this has been a good and a lengthy prep for Akeem Williams for this year's Miss Olympia. He won Toronto Pro in summer, so he had kind of a mini off-season after the Arnold UK as well as Toronto Pro. So I believe he is going to be improved compared to his last two showings. But do let me know what you guys think. Next up, we have an update from our reigning Miss Olympia champion, Derek Lunsford. So the video was recorded at 2 weeks out of this year's Miss Olympia, and Derek is looking drier by the day. It's all gonna come down to how the last few days, how the peak week goes for him. We are watching the details on his side and front delts that we have never seen on this guy before. Now everyone wants to see more separation and more detail on Derek's physique, especially in the front shots, and he has worked the entire year. And that too tirelessly. And the man is still working. And so far he has done a superb job. The other thing to notice here is that the biceps are looking significantly bigger than what they were last year at the Olympia. And yes, I know he doesn't have those crazy bicep peaks, like for instance Hadi Choopan or Nick Walker, but he certainly has put on some size on those arms. So I cannot imagine a winning Miss Olympia who is coming in so much improved. And that too in all the aspects, with the greatest back double biceps on the earth right now, dropped down to 4th place in his first Olympia title defense. So guess who has Derek in the 4th place, leading into this year's Miss Olympia? That is Milos Sarcev. Now I am pretty sure these athletes don't listen to all these predictions, especially this close to the Olympia. Because the thing is, there is only one guy who is gonna win, and we all have our favorites. So Derek with majorly improved front shots, that is probably gonna win his second Olympia title in 9 days time. But do let me know what you guys think. Michael Krizo is recovering faster than we expected. So this is him pumping those massive arms just 6 weeks after his shoulder surgery. Now even with 1.5 months of no training at all, Krizo's arms are still one of the biggest set of arms in the bodybuilding world at the moment. So up next for Michael Krizo is the off-season on the road to the Arnold Classic Ohio 225, where I believe we are gonna see the deepest Arnold lineup of the last 2 decades or so, because of the massive increase in the prize money. Because $500,000, that is a lot of money. So by now we know that Krizo's back, that is genetically his biggest weakness. And it is so unreal how much width Krizo has from the front, but he looks very narrow, especially in the back double biceps and the back lat spread. He needs to get better from the back, little by little every year. So good thing is that Michael Krizo is also a very young guy. He's only 31 years old. So time is definitely on his side. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.